Hello, and welcome to Senioritis, where we discuss our high school years, how we've learned to handle stress, and the workload of high school. I'm Marley.
And I'm Claire. We're two seniors currently at Sequoia High School.
And today, we're going to review our years here at Sequoia and share some of the things that we learned. So the main problem that I'd say that we've both dealt with most are procrastination, stress, and losing attention.
Definitely. These are the years that I think these problems are all at their peak. Freshman year is the easiest, but then it just gets worse from there.
I'd say my senioritis kicked in when I was like a junior. So our first problem is procrastination. Everyone has dealt with this problem, some more than others, but the advice usually stays the same. Number one is get organized. This is really important because it's hard to get motivated to complete your work if all of your papers and stuff are unorganized and not well put together. Cleaning them up a bit will definitely keep your mind clear and more motivated as well.
Number 2, set a deadline. So this goes hand in hand with the first piece of advice. But strict deadlines are integral to making sure you have your work spaced out and evenly enough to make completion the simplest it can be.
Number 3 is to get rid of distractions. Now, this one is one of the main reasons I was always procrastinating is because I was always on Instagram or YouTube just wasting time. So the best way to truly focus on your work is to put your phone away and try and stay off Netflix or YouTube unless it's for chill study music or something.
Number 4, take a break. With this, it's important to know that breaks should be taken once you have done about an hour or 2 hours of work. So a proper way to pace yourself would be about 10-minute break every hour or so.
And number 5 is to use incentives. Having a drive will encourage you to finish your work to the best of your ability. So having a goal or a milestone will really get your mind on track and make it easier for you to stay on track.
One time during sophomore year, I had missed a few days of school due to being sick, and I was already failing geometry with a 67. Geometry was probably one of the most hardest subjects I ever had to do. My teacher wasn't great either. I don't even know how she got a teaching degree. Anyways, I struggled a lot in her class and basically ended up getting behind. But it was also due to not paying attention in her class, either since she was mostly yelling at the students the whole time. I'd usually be on my phone or just doodle on the sheet we were taking notes on. Before we continue with this podcast, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, Raycons. I actually have a pair of Raycons and I love them. I usually use them when I'm at the gym or at home playing games. The sound quality is just amazing, as all the other top brands, and they're half the price. The ones I'm using are the Everyday E25s. They're the best ones yet. 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, available in multiple colors, and their compact design helps get rid of background noise. I also like the fact that you can click either earbud with your finger to pause your music. It makes it super convenient if you need to stop for any reason. Go to buyraycon.com/senioritis for 50% off your order. The link is in the description.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, one of the biggest mobile role-playing games of 2020, and it's totally free. Currently, almost 10 million users have joined Raid over the last 6 months, and it's one of the most impressive games in its class with detailed models, environments, and smooth 60 frame per second animations. All of the champions in the game can be customized with unique gear that changes your strategic buffs and abilities. The Dungeon Bosses have some ridiculous skills of their own, and figuring out the perfect party and strategy to take them over is a lot of fun. Currently, with over 300,000 reviews, Raid has almost a perfect score on the Play Store. The community is growing fast, and the highly anticipated new faction war is now live. You might even find my squad out there in the arena. It's easier to start now than ever. With Raid's program for the new players, you get a new daily login reward for the first 90 days that you play the game. So what are you waiting for? Go to the video description, click on the special links, and you'll get a 50,000 silver and epic free championship as part of the new player program to start your journey. Good luck, and we'll see you there.
This podcast was also made possible by Audible. Audible is the leading provider of audiobooks. They have over 180,000 of audiobooks to choose from. Visit www.audible.com for one free audiobook. This is the best place for audiobooks, and I cannot recommend it enough.
And finally, this podcast is sponsored by NordVPN.
Staying safe online is an ever-growing difficulty, and you could be exploited by hackers. NordVPN allows you to change your IP address, making you harder to track and securing your privacy. Check out the link in the description to get 20% off for the first 2 months, and thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this podcast.
Another problem we've all dealt with significantly is stress and how to handle it. We haven't completely got a handle of it, but we do have a few tips that have helped us.
Number 1, study as much as you can. Although studying is pretty boring, it truly does help with taking tests. Looking through study guides and memorizing either the questions or terms will most likely get you a good grade on either your tests or quizzes.
Number 2, learn to study more efficiently. We have never really been taught to study, so I used to think that there's only one way, which was just looking over notes. However, there are many different ways to study that helps every person, since not everyone can learn the same way. So finding out what your study style is and using it is very important with dealing with stress.
Number 3, find ways to calm down. Getting frustrated at times with homework stacking up and a bunch of tests sucks. That's why you need to have a cool down time before starting or even during any assignments. It truly does help get your mind not to feel so cluttered with everything. Whether that be playing games, listening to music, watching TV, etc. It most definitely is required.
Number 4 is watching your diet. Most people don't think to correlate eating with stress levels, but it's actually more vital than you'd think. Making sure you're getting enough water and food to fuel your brain is what helps maintain stress levels and headaches.
Number 5, get enough sleep. I'm pretty guilty to not getting enough sleep on school nights. This caused me to get very drowsy and unmotivated as well. Plus, staying up till 3 a.m. writing an essay that I was holding off on doing isn't great either. You'd much rather get sleep than write until the sun is up and you have to go to school.
Number 6 is making sure you have enough time. This relates back to our procrastination points, but making sure your time is evenly displaced and organized really does impact your stress and worry.
Everyone always has a story about high school stressing them out. Sadly, it's expected. But the most stressful time was certainly junior year. My junior year was spent with teachers cramming a bunch of assignments, projects, and homework down my throat, and basically giving us a day or two to finish. We have a few more pieces of advice that don't necessarily fall into one category, but decided that it was still important to share. Why did I sound like that?
I didn't stop it yet, Claire!
It's okay, we can just trim it.
Can we? I don't know if okay, whatever. Number 1 is get a planner. If I didn't have a planner, I would have never made it through high school. I'm the type of person that just forgets something as soon as I'm told, so writing things down has really helped me become more organized, which, as well as we've discussed, helps tackle stress and procrastination.
Number 2, keep it real. Be realistic about your future decisions and choices. You always want to think about other ways to make things easier, and let's be honest, always doing homework last minute isn't going to get you best of the grades either.
Number 3 is stay focused. Try not to let your mind wander in class. If you don't actively listen in class, you're most likely not going to learn the topic.
Number 4, get out of your comfort zone. It is always good to get yourself active in school-related activities. As someone who has done color guard, it was probably one of the most amazing memories I have from high school. You can really meet people who feel like a family to you and will always have your back if you ever need them.
Number 5 is make yourself at home. If you're not comfortable here, then your high school experience will be much harder than it should. So try to make friends with all types of people and join a club or two.
Number 6, make useful connections. Making friends with people in your class will be helpful, since if you were ever confused about a certain assignment or needed help, you could always ask that friend. It's nice to have at least one in there, so that 2 of you can help each other out, especially projects.
Number 7 is get involved. If you're interested in a club, then join it. Don't do what I did. I worried too much about what people thought of me and thought that certain clubs or activities were too good for me. I regret this now, so I hope that you can learn from my mistakes and try to follow whatever you want to do. So we went over what we've learned from high school and what advice we give to you freshmen. Mostly over procrastination, handling stress, and a few miscellaneous pieces of advice.
Thank you guys for listening to us ramble for a bit about our time here.
In the next episode, we'll be discussing the difficulty differences of each year.
So go have the best high school experience you can. Thanks for listening, and see ya.